We caught an electro glide cart and several miles through low-ceilinged icy tunnels, completely dark except for our own low-level lighting, reached a warm grotto in the ice with a few shower heads and beyond, a bathing pool steaming away. We enjoyed the shower and pool together for a half hour or so and went in our cart to another icy tunnel passage that led to a busy equipment and processing area. Norma made sure that I was issued new clothing appropriate for Gleebeer before leading on down to a rabbit warren of offices in the Star of David quarter of the ice complex. "Are you Jewish?" I asked her as we walked together along a lengthy corridor. "Whatever gave you that notion? You should be a better logician than to make that too obvious guess." The resistance movement at Gleebeer was started by a group of Jewish descendants of the survivors of the Holocaust on Earth in the 20th century Anno Domini, in which more than 6 million Jews were liquidated by the German Nazi political party. The Italian Fascist Party and the dictator Benito Mussolini, who invented the political philosophy of corporatism, partnered with the Nazi Party. As a philosopher of the Krasnaregi galaxy, you ought to know that. Yes, Norma, I know that Mussolini invented corporatism, that the Fuhrer had a functioning corporatist state developing at the start of the war in which the Holocaust occurred. That couldn't lead me to guess that some of the survivors' descendants from the earth camps, death camps, might migrate here. Well, they did, learning that Jesus Christ was the seed of the woman, the direct descendant of King David through Mary's ancestry, and that the Jews had arranged for the death of their king, as the Roman Pontius Pilate called Jesus. The Jewish converts to Christianity that migrated here realized that until the second coming of Christ, their homeland of Israel would have more than its share of difficulties. The book of 1 Samuel explains that God did not want the Jews to have a king at all. Instead, they were supposed to have God as their high priest and form a mostly egalitarian neo-democratic society, with God as the absolute monarch. The Jews of that day, however, insisted upon a human king, so God arranged for them to have the unwitting Saul and for David's heirs to rule over Israel forever. That promise was kept when Jesus Christ, as the heir of David, became king of the Jews and of the expanded spiritual empire of Christianity and Judaism combined. To avoid having the corrupted worldly mankind as progenitor of the eternal line of David, God had the seed of the woman unite with the spirit of the Father God to issue the begotten Son of God as eternal king of the Jews. What could be more obvious for some of the recently converted ancestors of Jewish survivors of Nazi death camps like Dachau than to leave the apocalyptic end-times political troubles of the earth and of the false prophet of Islam, and to escape to found a new and better society here on Gleebeer? Right, Norma, indeed. What could be more obvious than that? She stepped in front of a sticky door and said, "It will take each of us about 30 seconds to pass through the sticky stuff and into Field Marshal Moshe Dillon's office. He got his name as a brevet promotion and has let it go to his head a little. Ignore the swagger stick."